Okay. So yeah, the mic works. We're in there. So this is part two, right? Um, part one was pretty sad, right? But this part is actually is gonna get better. So part one of my of dealing with my mother passing away. So after she passed away, like I was saying, for all who haven't seen part one, by the way, my mother died of cancer last July. It was breast cancer, and it spread from from her breast to like all the rest of her body, and unfortunately, she passed away. So I explain more of that in part one, so you can go see that video. But in this video, I want to talk about how I suppressed my grief and what happened. So suppressing grief is not good. Suppressing any emotion is not good. Like you got to find ways to manage it in a healthy manner. And I wouldn't say I found unhealthy ways to manage it. I just threw myself into like getting my work done and things like that so that I wouldn't think about it. Um, and I was just like, no, like, you have to be happy. You got to find ways to make yourself happy. You got to be good. And so that's basically where my head was at. I want to say, because she passed away in July. So I want to say about September, October, November time frame. I spent that time retaking the classes that I failed during the summer that she passed away, and also throwing myself into my projects that I had for myself. And so I started to get burnt out because I was going hard. I was going hard. Anything but sit with this grief. Anything but that. So eventually I had one last session with my spiritual coach. And I saved that session because I wanted to use it as a session to work on like releasing the grief. So I had my session with her, and it went very well. I'm probably will document that in another video because I want to make a separate batch of videos talking about my journey with like hiring a spiritual coach out here and how much it helped me. And I will leave her information under the video if you guys ever want to book her. If you're ever in Bali, she also does remote work as well. She works remotely, so yeah. But basically, I did the session with her, and I did feel better. I think I did release a lot of stuff then, especially dealing with the traumas behind me and my mother's relationship. Because it's like I wanted to rest. I wanted it to rest in peace. But it's like I worked on releasing some of it, but I still, you don't just snap your fingers and everything is fixed. By the way, if you're wondering what's in my background, they are feeding the plants and doing the gardening. But this is the spot with the best view because if I go over there, you're going to see a big building getting constructed across the street. And I don't want that in my video background. So you'll have to see the staff. But so this is part of daily Bali life. So, anyways, so yeah, I was spending time with my friends, still doing my work, but genuinely, just trying to still work through my sadness. I didn't feel as bad as I used to, of course, but you have your moments where you sit with yourself and you feel bad and all those types of things. So then one of my friends came to visit from Thailand for some days, and we were hanging out. And then she's like, "Hey, some of my other friends are in town. We should go hang out with them." So we go to hang out with her other friends, and they're all cool. And it's just like a super fun night. They had a basement. They had this huge villa that had like a basement. Then the basement had a bar, and like it was just really nice. So we're all hanging out, having a good time. But as the night goes on, somebody's like, "Hey, we don't need to go to sleep. Let's try some shrooms." So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Why not? But I'm like, I'm only gonna eat one because I'm like, I'm sensitive to stuff. I don't want to do too much because I don't know what kind of reaction I'm gonna have to it. So I ate one mushroom, and then we were all sitting there. They're like, "Oh, let's eat a second piece." So I ate a second piece, and that was it for me. They all ate third pieces. I said, "Nope. If I eat a third piece, I'm gonna be in space somewhere." And so as time went on, I started to feel it, and what is in my eye? I started to feel the shrooms, and I felt good. Like, you know, that euphoric feeling. Like, I felt that feeling. Music was playing, and like you really get to enjoy the music, and you just feel good. And the person I was with made sure I was feeling good. We'll leave it there. But we're having a good time. We're listening to music. You know, everything is all cool. And then I started to feel this feeling of anxiety creeping in. So I'm just like, okay, but I'm ignoring it because I'm like, no, no, everyone is having a good time. We're not about to do this. Anxiety, go away. But the anxiety just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I couldn't ignore it. Then eventually got to a point where I'm like balled up in the fetal position in the bed, like, oh my god, like I feel so bad, like I feel really really bad. And so now, my friend is like, yo, he didn't know what to do. He was like, are you okay? Like, do you need some water? So he goes and gets some water for me to drink. And then suddenly I also start having the bubbly guts. I know it sounds funny, but it all ties in. It ties in. Like, if you believe in like spiritual stuff, it ties in. So now I'm having the bubbly guts and I got to run to the bathroom. So now I'm in the bathroom crying because I have anxiety and I got the bubbly guts. Then I'm thinking, like, maybe if this gets out of my system that way, that I'm going to start feeling okay. So I finished with the bathroom, but I still feel horrible. Like, I feel terrible. Like, I couldn't describe. This was not your regular anxiety. Like, I felt completely horrible from the inside and outside. Like, I don't know. I can't describe that feeling. Like, it was inconsolable anxiety. So now I'm laying back in bed. I'm crying. He even brought the water. My homegirl then came in the room and she's like, hey, girl, like, what's up? Like, because we supposed to be leaving to go home back to my place, but I'm like, girl, I can't even move. Like, I feel so bad. So they're both kind of talking because they kind of, they're like waiting for me to calm down. And as they're talking, I suddenly have a vision, right? And I have a vision of a shaman. And it's okay. um, so I have a vision of a shaman. And the shaman is like, he's dressed in like the little robe, like kind of like how the monks are dressed. Um, and I'm over here like I'm freaking out, I'm panicking, and the shaman reaches into my stomach. The shaman reaches into my stomach, and then he starts to pull something out of my stomach. Like, he just starts to pull something out of my stomach, and it was like this red fluid, but it was like just pulling out like in this line. And then he gets a bottle and puts it in and starts putting it in a bottle, right? So what he was pulling out of my stomach was my anxiety, because where I felt my anxiety was from here to here is where I felt my anxiety, but specifically like right here where my solar plexus is where I felt it the most during that trip. So he's pulling from right here, right? Pulling from right here, pulling, pulling, pulling. He's putting it inside a bottle, and I'm watching him do it. And then he said like it was an evil spirit, and he said it was my mom's spirit. So he said my anxiety was an evil spirit and my mom's spirit, and to put it in a bottle and bury it. All this happened while my two friends were in the room. Uh, and I felt like my eyes were open. Maybe they weren't, but I really felt like my eyes were open. Like, I felt like they were open because I felt like I was staring at my two friends, but I was also seeing I was also seeing the shaman pull the anxiety out of my stomach and put it in a bottle. So he put it in a bottle and he buried it. And Let me drink my coconut water. Um, yeah, so he put it in a bottle and he buried it. And I felt some kind of relief. Like I still felt the residual of the anxiety. It still wasn't finished yet, but I felt like a million times better after he pulled it out. But now my mind is like, whoa, I just had a vision. What the heck? And how did this shaman know about my mother? Like, and so immediately, like when I come to, I tell them, I was like, I tell my friend, tell her, I'm like, I just had a vision of a shaman, and I've explained to her what happened. I was like, it was about my mom, and she was like, whoa. So she was just like, have you done any shrooms since your mom passed away? Is this your first shroom trip since then? And I said yes, and she was just like, oh, okay, it makes perfect sense now. So apparently, shrooms, right? If you are bottling something up, if you got some inner demons that you're dealing with and you need to release them, the shrooms will bring them out. The shrooms will make them come out. The shrooms will make you address those things whether you want to or not. So, yeah. So that's basically what happened. And then I was finally able to get up and go to the car. Let me finish the story elsewhere because now they're talking in the background. Actually, I should be able to edit that out in CapCut. But anyways, so we get in the car now, and I'm still replaying the vision, but then like something else happens, and I'm like, wait, it's not an evil spirit; it's a sad spirit. He was saying that my mother's spirit was a sad spirit, and I had to take it out of me and put it in a bottle, and I had to bury it. And that clarity of that message was so profound to me because I know that my mother was sad. And you know how they talk about generational trauma? Like, I feel like she was abused, and in turn, she abused me. And like that sadness was passed down generationally. And so, yeah, no, that message, it blew my mind. It just kept replaying in my head. Like, put it in a bottle and bury it. Put it in a bottle and bury it. And for me, a person who internalizes things and who also has been through so much, and I've throughout the years I've been working on releasing all these traumas and all this stuff that I've been through. That putting in a bottle and bury it, it just really, really resonated with me, and I just felt like this is not an accident. Like that wasn't an accident. Like I was meant to have that vision, and I was meant to get that message. But when I got home, I still was kind of a little bit creeped out, so I took my anxiety medicine and went to bed. And also the diarrhea part, forgot to explain that. So my body was purging. My body was purging the grief. So I feel like the diarrhea on a spiritual aspect was part of me like purging all that stuff. Because that's essentially what effect the shrooms had. Because I was crying a lot. I cried hysterically. I was purging from my body. And I also had that vision. So, yeah, after that, I had some pep in my step again. Like, I started going out again, trying to socialize, excuse me, and trying to socialize more. And I even made like some new friends. And, yeah, just before I wasn't going out like that outside of like the gym or working on something. I was not going out. I was not socializing. But it's like after that, I was like, you know what, girl? Like, put the sadness in a bottle and bury that shit. Like, I'm taking that into 2026 because this trip happened in December, by the way. So I've told myself, like, hey, that's what I'm taking into 2026. Put it in a bottle and bury it. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video here because, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. But all I'm gonna say is this: grief is not like a one size fits all. It comes in different forms, and you're allowed to deal with it and process it however long it takes you to process it. In whatever way works best for you. Well, I didn't expect the shrooms to do what they did, but the shrooms did what they did. Do I still feel the grief sometimes? Yes, but it's nowhere near as heavy. So yeah, release that grief in whatever way you can. All right, y'all, like, comment, share, subscribe, share your stories. This is a safe space. And if anybody is bringing negativity in those comments, you're getting deleted. Okay, bye.